Alright, let's just cut to the chase. Let's make things easy for you. How do you factor this guy? What's the common factor? If you factor that out, what do you have left? X plus 5, possibly the easiest problem we could do today, right? Well, as long as you get this, then the next stuff is going to be just as easy, right? So if I change this up, instead of saying the y that I have here, what if I say this? What if I say x plus 2? Now you saw that y was a common factor and you factored out the y. Well, here you have a common factor that's more than just a single term. It's a group. So how does this factor? It's x plus 2, and then what's, because that's the common factor that you take out. You take this out front. What do you have left? X plus 5. Isn't that nice and easy? And don't you remember that this leads us to factoring by grouping? Are you whining about that? Because you can leave. Maybe you need to go back on vacation.
I feel like I need to.
Get some sun. Get some cancer. Oh, what?
That was kind of drastic.
Oh, that sucks.
See, you need to be like me. You need to make sure that your SPF is high enough that you come back paler than when you started. Alright, let's look at this guy. X to the third plus 5x squared plus 7x plus 35. What's the common factor for everybody? There isn't one. So what we do is that we look at this first group. What's the GCF in this first group? How about x squared? If I factor that out, what's left? X plus 5. In the second group, what's the common factor? 7? If you just put 7 right next to this, I'm going to freak out.
Oh, no.
I'm going to lose my mind. It better be a plus 7 because that's what you're taking out. If you put a 7 right next to the parentheses right here, that would indicate multiplication, but that's not what we have. Take out the 7, what do you have left over? We have x plus 5. Now, looking at the last problem that we did, we should be able to finish factoring this guy very easily. So, what's that big common factor we pull out front? X plus 5. And then what's the other part? X squared plus 7. Factoring back, grouping made easy, right? What do you guys think? Is it too easy? It's too difficult? You don't know? You want to cry? You want to go home? You want to do all of those things? Trust me, you're not going to have as much fun if you go home. I mean, what are you going to do when you go home? You're not going to read a book? Read a book. Expand your mind. I mean, when I say expand your mind, I don't mean like, 70s expand your mind. I mean, learn about other. You just had to have been there. What sounds good here? That's all right. It's okay. You don't know. You don't need to know. Just trust me to make up all the problems, and hopefully they will all be right. Is there a common factor to take out of everybody? that I can take out of everybody in this polynomial? No, there's not. In this first group, what's the common factor? Common factor here is x squared. What am I left with? 3x minus 2. In the second group, it's a negative 9x plus 6. Now, when you start off with when you have to do some factoring and it leads with a negative, you need to take the negative out, along with whatever the common factor is. Oops. What's the common factor here? 3. So take out negative 3, and what do you have left? 3x minus 2. That way, when you do negative times negative, you get back to positive 6. Okay? So, just like we've done before, what's the common factor you pull out of everybody? It's that 3x minus 2. And what's the other part? X squared minus 3. Questions about that? Is it too easy? All right, let's do one more. All right. (28x to the third plus 35x squared minus 4x minus 5). Is there a common factor to take out of everybody here? Not to take out of everybody. But if I look at my first group, what's my common factor? 7x squared, and what would you be left with? 4x plus 5. Now this second group, which again leads off with a negative, what do I factor out of this? It has to be a negative something, right? It's going to be a negative 1. Because that's the largest whole number that's going to go into 4 and 5. It's just 1.
Oh, okay, yeah, because of 5.
If I divide or factor out that negative 1, what do I have? We have 4x plus 5. Right?
It's weird.
What's weird?
Oh no, it's right. I'm saying it's just weird. It's the first time we've ever done that.
First time we've ever done what? Take out a negative 1?
Yeah, even when we're covering factor, we didn't do that.
Yeah, we did. Well, maybe it's another class. Maybe it's the good class I did that with.
Oh, okay. So we'll do that.
Yeah, sure. Now, how do I finish factoring this guy? 4x plus 5 is the large common factor here. And the rest of it is 7x squared minus 1. Questions? No? Good.